guys, welcome to your balance workout. What we're going to be doing today is taking you through some exercises that will help strengthen your core, the stabilizing muscles of your body, and also give you a nice stretch. My name's Kara.
And I'm Michelle, and we're going to be doing all of these on the JumpSport trampoline with the bar. You're going to love it.
Let's start with a warm-up since it's important before any form of exercise. So let's start with a big breath up and in through center. Exhale, fold forward over those legs. Step back just a little bit if you need some more distance. You're going to start by just bending and straightening the legs. You're getting a hamstring stretch into a hip opener.
And if you want to take this all the way forward, go for it. If you're not quite warm yet, like me, and you want to be a little bit higher, totally cool. We're just working the range of motion here, getting everything moving, all that good stuff.
And you should feel really stable since the trampoline is right underneath you. From here, roll on up through your back. Stand nice and tall. You're going to take to a side bend. Arms go up overhead and reach over to one side. Try to stay stable through both of your feet and really reach. Let's switch it out. This time going over to the first side, bend your opposite knee. So you're going to take that left knee into a bent shape and still reach side. You'll feel a deeper stretch.
Keep breathing through this.
And switch to the other side.
And you can have your arms wide like Kara's, or you can interlock your thumbs like me, whatever feels comfortable for you. This is your workout.
Let's take it up to the trampoline. Welcome to the handlebar. It's going to be your sense of security through all of this. So find a grip that works for you, whether it's holding on with full thumb underneath or just a light tap on top. No matter what, make sure you're not gripping so you take any of this into your upper body.
Yeah, just remember to relax your shoulders, maybe give them a little shake, take a deep breath in, and fix your posture.
So find your center here, pull your belly button back, and you're going to just lift up onto your toes for a calf raise and lower back down. Take this slow. It doesn't have to have any bouncing in it, but you just want to feel like your head is reaching up towards the ceiling, and then you lower back down through your heels.
We're just getting comfortable on the trampoline here. Obviously, it's an uneven surface, right? So it's a little harder to balance on, but that's why the bar is there. So if you want to not go all the way up onto the balls of your feet, totally fine. Do as much as you can. You can always work up to a full releve position.
A heel rock is totally fine here. Place those heels down, and you're just going to go for a press bounce. So not even taking your feet off the trampoline, but just feeling that pressure down. The cords are kind of taking your weight here a little bit. You should feel a little bit of work in your abs as you're moving through this. And it's not a crazy intense burn. You're just getting things, awake in the body.
Clean it up.
Take a few more of these, and let's take it into a down bounce. It's pretty light though, just feet coming off of the trampoline, just a couple centimeters even.
Yeah. And if this is too much for you, totally fine. You can just go back to that press bounce. Super simple, no big deal. When you feel ready, work up to that light down bounce.
All right, take a few more of these and release. Good, your warm-up is done.
Okay, so during this balance workout, you have 3 options for your feet. We'll start with our beginner option. Super wide feet, about as wide as your trampoline. The wider your base is, the easier it is going to be to balance. So this is your beginner stance. Our intermediate stance, if you want to take it up a notch, is feet right underneath your shoulders. So you have, about 2 fist width between your feet. Knees are nice and soft, shoulders roll back and down. And then our most advanced stance is going to be narrow feet. So the closer our feet get together, the harder it is to balance, right? So at any point in this exercise, you can take your feet wider, you can take them a little closer together if it's a little bit too easy for you. No big deal. Find what's comfortable for you, depending on the day. And remember that you want to have nice soft knees as you're doing this. You don't want to lock into your ankles and your knees, because that causes you to arch your lower back, and that's not a good thing.
Doesn't feel good.
Soften your knees, pull your abs in, and roll those shoulders back and down. And pick whatever stance works for you. I'm going to be about shoulder width distance today.
I'm going to go advanced. Because additionally, you have the handlebar. So remember, you can use this the entire time. We're going to be showing you movements that are one arm up, both arms up. And so if any of that feels like too much, feel free to modify and bring your hands to the bar. That's what it's there for. I'm going to stay in the advanced foot position because I'm going to be going with one hand on for most of today's workout.
All right, let's get started with the workout. So starting with our hands reaching all the way up towards the sky. If you want to, you can drop that hand down, no big deal. You're gonna reach up and over to the right side. And then come all the way back to the center using your core. Dip up and over to the left. And we'll just do this a couple times. Get used to that range of motion. Inhaling and exhaling. Relax your shoulders. I have a tendency to let my shoulders come up here as like I get into the stretch. I totally forget about my upper body.
And the stretch does feel so good. You're opening up through your side body and also using your obliques to help you come back up from standing. So feel as though you're going up and over rather than just sinking your rib to your hip.
One more here. And you might kind of feel like your feet are moving side to side. No big deal. That's just you balancing on the trampoline, right? This is an uneven platform, so that's totally normal. All right, now that we've gone to side, let's just take it straight back. Reaching up and back, and then coming back to the center. Remember, this bar is here to help you out, so if you need to, you can drop one hand down. And we're just arching with our upper body, so just our upper torso, the thoracic spine, is reaching backwards and then coming back to the center. No need to have like a super big arch here.
You want to think about your chest, your sternum reaching up towards the ceiling rather than going for an arch in your low back. You're only going to be putting pressure in your lumbar vertebrae if you do so. So think about going up and over a table that's behind you.
One more here. Reaching up through those fingertips, shoulders drop down. And coming back to the center. And let's put all of that together. We're going to go around the world. So we drop down to the right, all the way around to the back, to the left, and come straight back up to the center. Every time you come back to the center position, reset. Let's go to the left, all the way to the back, to the right, and back to the center.
You'll feel how your grip changes with this if you do have one hand on. You're negotiating in your whole body here, but that grip does change. Make sure you are not necessarily adding tension to your upper body, but just noticing how you use the bar in a different way.
When I do this, it becomes so clear which places on my body are tight. Because
yes.
I noticed that like when I try to get into those corners, it's a little bit harder to lean. Try to make it nice and even, smoothly moving through the movement.
And
Awesome.
release this down.
Nice.
Good. So we're going to go for the same thing, but our arms are going to be in an L shape. Left arm up, right arm side. I'm going to go for one on. Feel free, if this feels more challenging, having the one arm out, to change up your foot stance if you need to. Let's get started with that side bend. You go up and over and bring it back through center.
And our arms are staying in the same relationship the whole time, right? So we have basically like a 90-degree angle between our top arm and our side arm. Energy reaching out of the fingertips, shoulders rolled back and down. And just like Kara mentioned before, you're creating space in your waistline. You're reaching up and over as you go to the side. Get a little taller in the middle, reach up and over. Get a few inches more length in that spine. Let's do one more.
And ensure here that you're not letting your hips go to the side. Even though that might feel kind of nice, you're not necessarily getting as much stretch and as much balance work. You need to keep that stable base for yourself. We're going to extend it back. Lift up. And take it center. Should feel like a nice stretch through your center as well, but that doesn't mean you're letting go of your core. You're pulling it up and in, even as you extend back. That's going to help support your spine. Are you breathing? I had to just remind myself.
Yeah, thanks for that reminder. Appreciate it. Let's do one more like that. Great. Now let's go all the way around the world. So we're reaching down to the right, to the back, to the left, and all the way back to the center.
Take this whatever speed feels good for you as well. So slower is always going to be more stable. Not that you want to do, full matrix crazy whirlwind with it, but you can take up the speed just a little bit if you're feeling more comfortable.
And of course, this is more challenging, so if you need to drop a hand down, totally fine. If you're feeling brave, maybe test your balance, see what it's like if you've been holding onto that bar for the entire workout.
Oh, I have been. You caught me.
Last one. All the way down to the left. Soften those knees. Pull your abs in. And back to the center. Nice. Let's switch to the arms.
I'm feeling my arms
Me too.
Yeah, they're
I was
working.
just thinking that. It's like you're on my mind.
Mind reader. Over to the right. Try not to get complacent with this. You know this movement by now, so make it better, longer, every single time. See if you can deepen that stretch. Focus on places where maybe you're gathering tension, like those shoulders or the low back. Bend your knees slightly, pull those abs in.
And if this is way too easy for you, make it a little bit more challenging by stepping your feet together. You can even, if you want to, test your balance by closing your eyes briefly.
Ooh.
It's really hard. Harder than it seems, so be careful.
Use the handlebar.
Use
That's
the handlebar
how
if you need to. Last one. And let's take it backwards. Reaching up through those top fingertips to go all the way back. Remember, you're just leaning backwards with that upper body. So for women, that's right underneath where our bra line is. That's about where we're getting that bend. For guys, it's underneath your scapula. 2 more like that. Reach taller to go backwards.
And this extension is a place where we don't usually work in everyday life, so really enjoy that lengthening through the front of your body. We'll put it all together, over to the side. Around and back. To the side again, and pick it up.
So you'll notice the more that we do this, the easier it gets to balance. When we first stepped on the trampoline, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this without my arms.
I know.
But you acclimate pretty quickly. Balance is something we really don't work all that often in our normal workouts, you know?
But it's so functional for everyday life.
Yes.
One more here. Whew. Exhale into this. And bring it to center. Good, we're gonna change those arms another time on the right and left. This time one arm up, but one arm front. So make sure this is directly in front of your shoulder. You're having a little bit more of a challenge with this one since everything is pulled into your midline. You'll usually feel that when you're trying to balance, arms go out so you can make your body more expansive, take up more space in your center of gravity. But this is all about finding your center.
Right.
Let's take it over to the side.
And if you need to, remember that bar is right there. You can always grab onto it. Test your balance, test your grip. Make sure you're not strangling the bar too much.
Ooh.
Reaching those front fingertips straight ahead of you. One more set.
Let's take it back. Here is where the front arm really does help you because you're counterbalancing. You have that reach forward, really energetic there as you send your body back.
Yeah, I always like to imagine like someone's pulling both of my fingertips away from each other. That helps me balance. Like, so it makes it so much easier. It's so funny.
And be careful that you're not letting that pull happen so much that you open up. Keep your shoulders square the whole time.
Last one here.
Around the world. Take it to the right.
Reaching all those corners, getting full range of motion every time. Don't cheat yourself out of any part of this movement. So really reaching over to the left and then get that back corner behind you all the way to the back and then that back right corner and back to the center.
And so impressed. You have no hands. I love it.
Well, as you do this, you kind of feel braver, right?
It's true.
And your sides get a little bit more flexible, so it's easier to bend. But my feet are starting to get a little bit tired, to be perfectly honest with you.
It's because we're on that dynamic platform that's working all those stabilizing muscles, everything from your feet up through your center. Let's go last one this side. Switch out those arms. One goes front. Drop your shoulders, find that reach over to the right side.
So even though our upper body is the thing that looks like it's moving the most, our lower bodies are actually doing quite a bit of work here. like Kara mentioned, those stabilizing muscles in your feet, your ankles, your calves, your upper legs, they're all working right now. Your hips, your core, all of that stuff. They're super small micro movements, but that doesn't mean that they're not working. So it's okay if you feel a little fatigued at this point, or maybe you wake up tomorrow and you're a little bit sore.
And that's part of this too, is that it shouldn't be perfect. You're on a dynamic platform. The balance is about movement. If it were perfectly still, then that would be a marvel.
Last one. And let's go all the way back, reaching up through those fingertips and coming back to the center. Reaching up and back.
Keeping those shoulders nice and square with that reach. Inhale as you go back to get that length. Exhale as you come up through center.
Last one. And let's take it all the way around, dropping to the right, back, left, and to the center, all the way upright. Reaching those fingertips away from you as you do this, softening the knees. I have a tendency to feel my knees lock as soon as I go backwards. So
yes.
If you're like me, just be really cognizant of what your legs are doing as your upper body is moving. It's hard, but you can multitask. I believe in you. That's a nice bend, Kara.
Oh, thanks. I can't even look at you because I'm focused. So I'm impressed that you can even go there. This is our last one. Bring it through center.
Great.
Great. Part one is done.
Give your shoulders a little shake. Give your hands a little shake. Okay.
We're going to switch up the feet, making it a little bit more challenging this time. So say you're in intermediate stance, you can always just bring your feet a little bit closer together and go for your advanced stance. If you were in advanced and you're like, psh, I can keep going, you're going to stagger your feet. There are other ways to do this as well, just as we had our beginner, intermediate, and advanced before. So you can bring your feet nice and wide to the edges of the mat of the trampoline, underneath your shoulders for intermediate, and then advanced is heel to toe.
Yeah, this one's pretty hard, guys. It's like you're bouncing on like a tightrope or something. So I'm going to be about as wide as my shoulders, 'cause that's easier for me.
I'll keep going with that advanced.
You're so advanced, Kara.
It's okay, I've been using the bar.
Okay.
So we'll find the staggered place that works best for you. Remember, the handlebar is here. You can use it in any way that you need to. The arm positions and the movements of the upper body are all going to be the same. So feel free to kind of ease into this a little bit more. You know it's coming.
Great. So our weight is evenly between both feet as we do this. Reach your fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Dropping over to the right and back to the center.
You'll already feel.
I was going to say immediately, you can feel how different this is. It's crazy. It's not like we're doing all that much, right? We just changed our feet, but it's a totally different exercise. Try not to let those hips hula side to side. You really want to keep them stable in the middle. It's like your legs are concrete and your upper body is like a willowy tree. How's that for imagery?
I love that. I want to be a willowy tree. Let's go for one more. Big reach up and over. Remember, there's no leg to the side to take your weight here, so use your center.
You might even feel your butt kick in as you do this.
Yes, let's take it back. Lift up.
Oh, so much harder. If you need to drop one hand down, go for it. Test
Remember
your balance.
Keep that little bend in your knees. Whenever I come back to center, I'm like, I've made it.
Accomplishment. Daily accomplishment.
But that's okay. Little goals, right?
And as you do this bend backwards, you have a nice long neck too, so you're not dropping just your head back. Think of elongating, lifting up. My chin stays in the same relationship to my chest, so I'm not tilting all the way backwards. This all stays pretty static. It's just your upper back that's moving. One more here.
Take it side.
All the way around.
the world.
A little different than when we had our feet together. You might notice that your range of motion just changes because you have a little less balance as you do this. Whoa.
Woo. I'm starting to sweat.
I know.
It's always surprising when it happens in the balance. It seems so innocent, and then you get into it.
I really feel this in my feet and in my lower legs.
Yes.
Just because those muscles are working so hard to stabilize you. So if you feel a little fatigued, that's totally normal, totally fine. Try to stay in it, and if you can, it'll get easier eventually. If you need to, you can just give your feet a little shake. No big deal.
Good, and you made it. We're going to change up those arms again into your L shape with your left arm up. Keep your feet as they are, but then as we switch our legs from here on out, as we switch our arms from here on out, the legs will change too. Let's take it side.
Make sure your feet are totally parallel as you do this. So toes are pointing straight forward and heels are pointing straight back. You don't want to have duck feet. That's something different. It's not wrong. It's just not what we're doing right now. Toes are pointing straight forward so your hips can point straight forward. Reaching out through those fingertips. Maybe smile. This is kind of fun. Makes it a little easier.
Last one here. Good.
I feel this in my core.
So much. Let's take it back. Now you lengthen out through the front of the core and pull everything down and in to zip it back together. You've arrived.
If you notice that your shoulders tend to come up as you do this, helps to flip your palms out. So I just take my right hand and flip it up towards the sky, take my left hand and flip it in towards my face. That rolls your shoulders back and down. Just little tricks, guys.
One more. And we'll take it around.
Cool.
Up and over. It is cool. Who else is doing this to get their health in line? Find that big circling action. Imagine you have a paintbrush on your hand. You're drawing around your body. Oh. Ooh.
Check in with that bar if you need to.
Last one. You can always lighten the grip on the bar a little bit. Maybe you just go for a couple fingertips on. Good. And let's switch our arms and our feet.
Cool. Give your legs a little shake. Give your shoulders a little shake. And reach up through those right fingertips. Reach out to the side of the left fingertips. Knees are nice and soft. We'll dip over to the left this time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Feels good.
Just to change it up. Keep you on your toes. And over to the right. Check in with your shoulders here. Nice long neck. And remember to breathe. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth.
In this position, especially in the advanced stance, when you're a little bit more heel to toe, I feel my inner thighs more. Everything's zipping in and out. If you were to let your knees splay, bad alignment, nothing would be going on there. So keep everything in towards your midline. I definitely feel that work to help me squeeze up and in together.
Yeah. Last one here. And let's take it all the way to the back, reaching up through those fingertips. Reach backwards and come back to the center. Try to keep your weight evenly between both feet here. It's tempting to put all your weight on your back foot, but that's not a good idea. You want to keep your weight between both feet just so you're super stable. Make sure you're not going anywhere. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale to come up. Beautiful. Let's take it to a circle to the left, all the way around the world, to the left, to the back, to the right, and back up to the center. And then to the right, reaching to the back, to the left, and all the way up. Pull the right shoulder down, pull the left shoulder down. Remember to keep that equal weight in the feet. spread your toes a little bit wider on the trampoline. Soften those knees. Activate your core.
One more. It's hard work.
It's like sneaky hard work.
Yes.
You don't realize
You don't
it's
look
actually
at
a
it.
lot tougher than it seems.
If you're just watching this and not doing it, which you should totally do it, you'd be like, Psh, that
Jump
looks
on
easy.
in.
That looks easy. It's not, I promise. Let's switch it out.
Cool. Changing our feet. So this time everything's at the midline.
Yes. Big reach here. We're going to go up and over to the right side.
And of course, that bar is here to help you. Remember that. It can actually, it's not a crutch. It'll actually deepen your stretch.
Exactly.
It'll make this workout even better for you. So don't be afraid to use it. Don't be shy.
I usually find too that when I let go of the bar, I almost want to ground myself more, so I feel myself almost sinking a little bit, and that's okay. You want your knees to bend, but using the bar helps me get a little bit more lift up before I go over as well.
Let's take it back. Reaching up through our left fingertips. This is always a really good place to check in with that bar as you lean backwards. You can even press down through that right palm to kind of activate the pec and shoulder muscles. Or if you want to, you can have a straight arm and you can press down through that wrist. And when you're feeling ready, reach those right fingertips forward. Beautiful. Let's take it all the way around. Reaching over to the right and to the back, to the side, and back to the center.
If at any point in the middle of these exercises too, you're feeling, my form's slipping, modify your stance. Feel free to take it to a wider version of this as well.
For sure. If you do take that wide stance, make sure that your hips are pointing straight forward. We have a tendency to open it up here, so you see how my hips are pointing to the side? You want them to go straight forward.
Last time.
I feel taller.
I know.
My sides are so stretched out. Feels great. Last one here. And switch it up. Other side. Left foot's in front. Right hand reaches high. Left fingertips reach straight forward. We're going to go up and over to the left this time. Reaching up and over. And back to the center. And then reaching up to the right.
Ooh.
Woo. And back to the center.
Wobble City. Because at this point, those leg muscles are feeling
they're
more
definitely
fatigued.
tired.
So even though you may feel more elongated in your upper body, the lower body might be a little tired. So check in with that bar.
Yeah. And if you're feeling like a boss at this, there's so many ways to test yourself and make it more challenging, right? You can take your stance a little bit wider on the trampoline. You can take it a little bit more narrow. You can get rid of one hand. All that good stuff to get the most out of your workout, right? That's the great thing about using the trampoline is that you can totally customize the workout to work for you.
One more. Let's take it back. Last time. I'll miss you, back extension.
I'm not going to. This one's hard.
Well, I've been also using the bar, so.
Try not to let those that rib cage open up as you lean backwards. Keep everything pulled in. Core engage. That rectus abdominis muscle, that big, huge, long abdominal muscle. Pulling nice and taut. Tailbone tucked underneath you. Weight is evenly placed between both feet here. Should we take it around to the left?
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Putting it all together, everything you've done so far in your balance work today. And it is the last time, so challenge yourself. Bring those feet in a little bit closer. See if you can maybe bring that hand off.
Test your balance. Make this a little bit more extreme if you want to. Reach a little bit farther back, a little bit farther to the side. You're super warm at this point, and your body knows this movement. So feel free to explore with it. Challenge yourself here. This is all for you.
Last time. Oh, I just can't seem to do it on that one side.
It's okay. You can just try tomorrow.
I'll try tomorrow. It'll be totally different.
Whoa.
Whew. Thank God for this handlebar.
Great.
And we're done. Shake out those feet.
Shake out the shoulders a little bit. Give your hands a shake.
Let's take a cool down to stretch out all the muscles that might have gathered a little bit of tension as we were working. So first things first, turn yourself around, hold onto the bar as you do so.
This is my favorite stretch. I love this one.
And you know this position of the body from your balance exercises. Extend and open up through your chest. You should feel a great stretch through your chest, through the front of your shoulder, through your biceps. And if this feels too easy or like not enough stretch, walk your hands a little bit closer together and go for that same extension. Breathe into this a couple times, and once it's feeling good, step off to the right side and we'll increase your shoulder stretch. Reach that hand along the bar and then pivot your body to open up. You want to increase this even more. Look behind you, and you can always little step your feet to the side.
And try not to let that shoulder come up super high. I like to start by rolling my shoulder back and down and then just easing into it. This is a really delicate joint on our body, so no need to push. It'll get more and more flexible as you do all of this stuff.
It's not worth walking all the way if this is happening.
Not worth it. Other side? What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just hop on over your trampoline. Hand comes to the middle, shoulders roll back and down, and just slowly pivot your body. That elbow is straight, it's not locked. And then like Kara said, if you want a little extra stretch, you can turn your head.
That's rotating your whole spine. Pull your core in.
Keeping those hips trying to point the other direction, facing forward.
And let's take this to the back of the trampoline. Opening up our chest in yet a different way. Standing behind, hands go onto the bar.
If you're short like me, you can bring one hand to the side, or maybe you're feeling a little less limber today, and just drop down. So pull your hips back behind you. Your weight is going to come into your heels. You'll feel this in your hamstrings, and you'll also feel this elongating stretch in your shoulder because you're dropping your head down to meet your shoulder, pressing down through those pinkies, engaging your lats. Deep breath in. If you're in Kara's position, you're going to hold. You're following me, rolling up, come to the other side. Left pinky comes onto the bar. Press those hips backwards, get a nice easy stretch.
The other option here, if you feel your low back, is to bend your knees just slightly. That will increase the stretch in your upper body, but you'll get a little relief on your back. Make sure those abs are still working. Take another big breath here. You're going to roll up through your spine. Tuck those hips under. Your head's the last thing. We seal it off with a big breath up through center. And you have made it. Nice job.
You're done.